He's a former world champion of the UFC. His name's Cody Garbrandt. They call him No Love. He showed us a lot of love. And I'm feeding them donuts on this week's Food Truck Diaries. Mr. Cody Garbrandt, no love.
We're here, all love.
Showing love, though.
Showing love.
A lot of love.
That's good.
What's going on, brother?
Dude, glad to be down here. I'm excited to be on here. It's been a couple years now. We just
Yeah.
finally made it happen.
I know, man.
Went from a bike ride to the food truck.
I
so,
know,
yeah.
you're one of my faves, man. We were trying to get you on here.
Yeah, I'm
this,
ready.
I can't stop staring at this chain of your son. I'm gonna
boy.
copy you and do the same thing.
I got you.
He's cute
My
as
boys
shit.
at Happy Jewelers will hook
Oh,
you up.
really?
Oh, yeah.
Let's do
They're
it.
Big fan. They hook all the fighters
Oh,
up.
yeah,
so,
I'm in.
I
Is
got
it
you.
Happy Jewelers?
Happy Jewelers.
Look
Orange
it up.
County, the best.
Oh, are they Orange County?
Yep,
Up
Orange
the street
County too.
too,
Yeah,
dog?
yeah.
That's dope, man. 2020's been tough for No Love. As far as like injury-wise, I think you have the knockout of the year. People can say, oh, Joaquin Buckley. Nope, because you got to look at who you did against. To knock out Raphael Assuncao like you did, back on the cage, you goosh, no look, walk-off KO,
Yeah.
Mark Hunt style, knockout of the year, son.
Literally back against the wall, figuratively.
Nuts.
You know, in my fight career.
I was so nervous for you because I had a 3-fight skid in that next fight, you know, and I don't know how your management dealt with it, but mine was like, all right, talk to Joe Silva. They're giving you LeVar Johnson, who's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
Like, if you lose this one, you're probably getting cut, and you're just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So you go into camp just like, you know, like making sure
everything's
you want
straight,
everything
yeah.
perfect. You're so stressed out. So for you, 3-fight losing skid. They give you a Assuncao, which when I saw that fight, I'm like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
Like, take care of him, man.
Yeah.
You're a big name.
I think for me, like, I asked for that fight for Ali. He's like, you can. He gave me a couple other ones. I think they were top 15. But for me, like, those get me up more. Like, it's a name. It's like the risk reward kind of thing. Like, I feel like that even like in training. Like, if I spar a good person, I kind of rise their level. If it's a little bit low, I'm like, oh, I got hit with some stupid shit. Why?
You fight
yeah, I
to the
fight that
level
level.
of the
So I think I've always have. But yeah, like I said, you get in fight camp, and I'm like, hey, a 3-fight skid. You're like fucking backs against the wall. You know, I'm become a world champion. The 3-fight skid. Like, I would not ever imagine that.
Mind blowing.
Mind blowing. Honestly, I thought I was living in this like make-believe world. Like, honestly, like maybe it was just my ego like allowing me to believe that it wasn't real, like we talked about earlier. And going into fight camp, you want everything perfect. So I was like, fuck this, I gotta switch something up. I was insane. I was mentally insane.
You were living in Vegas, training in NorCal?
I was living in Sacramento and training in Sac. So that's where I was
Team
at.
Alpha
Team
Male.
Alpha Male. Love the guys, great dudes, but
Yeah, we all love them.
you know, talk to them like, man, like I just got out of my comfort zone. That's why I went to cold ass New Jersey. Dude, freezing cold.
Awful.
Horrible. Like,
Best coach in the world, though.
Best coach in the world,
I
Coach
think
Henry.
he's the best coach in the world, Mark Henry.
I think for sure I've been a lot of coaches, you know, just his insight.
How'd you hear about
attention
him?
to
Did you
detail.
know him previously?
You know, we talked, it was before, I think I was like 2 or 3 in the UFC, and we ran into each other in in Vegas, and he's not a guy that gives out compliments, and I remember him telling me like, dude, you're gonna be a world champion, and I was like, all right,
Yeah,
that's
damn
cool.
right.
Like, I got Frankie, he's done so many people he's trained with, you know, from ground up basically, and I was like, wow, that's a high praise, like I appreciate that. So we've always kept cool throughout the years, you know, on social media and stuff, and at fight camps or fight weeks. And Ali, obviously, you know, he manages Frankie.
Oh, that's right.
Frankie's the second guy he's ever managed
Frankie,
behind
Moraes,
Enzo.
yeah.
Yep, all those guys. And it was just, Ali was like, look, you need to go, and I think Mark will help you out a lot on what you need to develop on. Like, I'm fast, I have good vision in there, you know, like defense.
Yeah.
Defense is huge, or game plan, you know, game plan huge, and just get away, get out of my comfort zone. Like, dude, getting out to Jersey, getting out of your own bed, your own, like, comfort zone, like we were talking about earlier, you're away from your child. Like, the first time I was away was on I had a book, when my book came released, I had New York and LA, and went on for a week. And I was like, man, miss them so much. So going out there and just like put myself through that ringer, new training partners, guys that are like trying to test themselves with you.
Yeah, if you're gonna do it, it better be worth it.
Dude, it has to be. Like, and I was at that point in my career, like, dude, like, are you gonna just sit there and keep going half-heartedly into this? Because I kind of lost the passion for fighting.
Did
and
you?
I felt like I was going through the motions there.
And when did you realize that? Is that in the TJ kind of saga?
Honestly, after I won the world championship.
Interesting. You're the second world champion I've heard say that.
I lost. I think I was so fixated and driven on being a world champion.
And then you get there.
And I got there.
And
And
you're at the top, and you're like,
And it wasn't.
This is it?
It honestly, everybody, like a lot of people around me kind of changed. I was like, wow, this is awesome. How is it?
You feel exactly the same.
And I was like, damn, like, it wasn't what I thought it would be.
Yeah, I remember when I was training with Rashad a lot when he won the world title, and I remember he came back the following week to help me get ready for my fight, and he's sitting down, and I go, dude, world champion, man, this is nuts. Like, you got to where we were all trying to get, man. I was like, how's it feel? And he looks at me and he goes, Brendan, I'm going to tell you something, man, and listen up. He goes, I feel exactly the same. It brings no more happiness.
Right.
He goes, nothing has changed for me.
Yeah.
He goes, I might make a little more in my next fight. That's whatever.
Yeah.
He goes, he goes, if you think getting this belt is happiness for you, you're fighting the wrong fight.
Exactly.
And I was like, God, he's negative.
For sure, I think a lot of stuff comes with being a world champion, you know, like.
Heavy lies the crown, my man.
Exactly, and that's true, but like for me, I always got into fighting to be the best.
Yes.
Like you know, it's a poor man's sport, you know, it was a decade of visualizing being a world champion. Finally get there, I'm like, wow, I made 200,000 being a world champion. This is sweet, you know, like a poor kid coming, you know, from Ohio, a little poverty city. Like, this is awesome. I made it, you know, like here it comes in. And obviously I tore my knee in the fight, and then right after that, I was on Ultimate Fighter, training with all those bigger guys, ended up tearing my back.
You've had some injuries.
So yeah, I was like, I never got to, and I think this is why I lost the passion or wasn't as hungry as I should have been being a world champion. So I didn't get to set my goals. I visualized on that goal for a decade.
It's like, what now?
Be world champion. First time I saw a fight, world champion. Like, what am I going to do now? I didn't have that time to where I'm going to fixate on, all right, these are my next goals. These are my next fights. These are my next visualizations. It was getting healthy. I was in rehab for 11 months, and they're like, hey, you're fighting TJ. They tried to get me to fight TJ on a stem cell shot in my back, and have a 4.5 week camp to fight TJ. I'm like, bro,
insane.
Insane.
He's a monster.
No way. Yeah,
I know you guys have your beef, but let's be real. TJ's a talented fucking
very talented,
dude.
and he works super hard. You know what I mean?
Might be the hardest worker we know. Him.
Definitely.
There's a few guys where, you know, if I had to put stock in their work ethic, him, there's a few guys.
Yeah, and he's a student of the game, so he's studying. He's going, you know, he's going all over to get the best work. And
correct.
You know, for him. So yeah, I'm like, I think that's a reason why I kind of lost a lot of love and passion for it, because I didn't get to visualize what my next steps were.
I think it's good guys hear that too, because it happens in other sports. Like, if you see what's going on with Kyrie Irving, how he's missing, you know, whatever, 2 weeks, missed like 8 games, he got fined out of the gazoo, but you know, he's like, I need a break, man. Like, it's not that I don't love basketball, and obviously people just see me with money, like, why isn't he happy? He's playing basketball. He's like, man, I just, you know, the passion sometimes, I got to find it elsewhere. I got to work on myself.
It's true. I think a lot of times that we're surrounded by, you know, Team Alpha Male is known as wrestling based. So wrestling's a grind. Anybody that knows anything about wrestling is like straight grind, and that's how we implement our training, is the grinding. But like we were talking about before the podcast, I'm not a tractor, you know.
No.
I'm Ferrari.
You're
you know,
Ferrari,
like you have to mold your own body to tailor to your fights, fight camps. And one person that was really frugal with that was Chad Mendez. Dude, he's like, I just fight the fun, like, so I can hunt and shit. You know what I mean? Like, you see Chad come out of, dude, wouldn't be in the gym for a few months and have a 5-6 week fight camp and just come in, just
destroy.
Dude, fucking people up.
Monster.
Like, dude, like, you want a hard round with Chad? Like, okay, you're
such
gonna get a hard round with
monster.
Chad, no matter grappling, sparring, wrestling. Like, he just but he stayed in shape. He ate right. He, you know, worked out outside, but he wasn't pounding himself on the
wrecking his body
every day. And that's where I think I'm learning that.
Thanks for watching this episode of Food Truck Diaries with Cody Garbrandt. But before we leave, you're probably wondering why I've been shivering this whole time. It's because I'm hairless. Thanks to Manscaped. Yes, Manscaped, the official supplier of the UFC and all hairy men out there. If you got a bush, you're living in 2020, and we all hate 2020. So be current, 2021. Use the Lawnmower 3.0. It has a flashlight on it. You can shave your nuts in the dark. There's no reason to be hairy in 2021. Go to manscaped.com right now, promo code FOODTRUCK, and you can save right now on the Lawnmower 3.0 package. Enjoy. When you go through, like, your 2020 was tough, man. After the Sanzao fight, like you said, big risk, big reward, 3-fight skid. You fight a Sanzao, fucking monster, can beat anybody on any given night. To me, you get knockout of the year on him. And then you catapult into the rankings. Then they're talking about you fighting Figueiredo for a title shot. And I was like, sign me the F up. Take my fucking money, UFC. Give me that. He's made that flyweight division finally pop. Yeah, it's back. He's a monster. Then they said, you're going to fight him. Like, holy shit, Cody's getting a title shot. About to be world champion again. Then you get hurt.
And I get COVID, you know?
You got COVID.
I got COVID.
Is
That's
that what
why-
it was?
That's
COVID?
what happened, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I had the vertigo we were talking about before. Vertigo for about 2 months. I was training.
Not fun.
And I would get probably like 2 or 3 rounds in of like sparring or grappling, and then it would like onset, like to where I would like get in a position where if someone had my back, I'm just like, all right, I'm doing the crackhead drill where I'm just fighting the hands so no one's choking me, to where the rim's spinning like I'm drunk. Like, and I was like, all right, it's horrible. So I started cycling a lot. I was in this position, you know, in MMA, you're in such a compromised position with MMA striking all the time. So, dude, like I would do a roll or somersault, and I'm like, you know, really funky in training. So it would just onset my vertigo to where it would be like, once it started, it'd be like 4 or 5 days.
Hell no.
Oh, horrible.
So you started cycling?
Cycling.
Road biking?
Road biking. Yeah, now I loved it, but I didn't know I had
You're
COVID.
part of the Thick Boy Bike Club.
Dude, Thick Boy, yeah. After we eat
these donuts, you're gonna be part of the Thick Boy Bike Club. So you started doing cycling just to keep up your cardio?
Yep, just keep up the cardio. We'll stay in shape because I didn't know I had COVID until for about 2 months. Then I went down. We're sponsored by Smart Cups. Is me and Mike Tyson and Henry Cejudo beat their Bellator. So we went down to Tyson's ranch to do a photo shoot and videography of it, and that's when we had to get COVID tested. I'm like, oh, you're positive. I'm like, damn, like this is crazy.
You're asymptomatic?
Well, I had vertigo, but the vertigo wasn't linked to.
No,
linked to it, like nothing.
So then that pulls you out of the title fight with Figueiredo.
Well, I did the quarantine, came back, felt great. I did like 21 days just to make sure, but I was just doing my own training on the road.
Yeah.
So I stayed in really good shape. Like conditioning shape was unreal. I hit pads for the first time, and felt great. My bicep was a little sore. In the middle of the night, dude, after I hit pads, I woke up and my bicep was like 3 times the size of it.
Because you tore your
my bicep. I thought I did.
Did you tear your bicep?
No, I didn't. I went to the doctor, and I was like, hey, I can't train. Like something's on with my arm. Like I got hill sprints later. I can't do MMA because it was just excruciating pain. He ultrasounded and he's like, dude, you got a distal bicep tear. And I'm like, what? I'm like, no way. He's like, yeah. So an MRI. So I got an MRI 3 days later. I was like, dude, no tear. I'm like, what? This is awesome. Like, this is great news. He's like, well, they did an urgent ultrasound on my vein. I ripped my vein in half. And
that's where all the blood was.
All the blood was just here. That was blood, and I had to like retract. I had to go straight to the hospital, get shots put in my thigh every 3 days for blood thinners. I'm still on blood thinners. I had 3 blood clots on my arm.
Fuck's sakes,
yeah, so that's what took me out of the fight with Figueiredo.
Yeah, so then you're out for that. Now you're back, feeling good.
Feeling good, yep.
What's the game plan?
Dude, like, so obviously, you know, they replaced me with Alex Perez, which he ended up getting choked out real quick.
Yeah.
And then him and Moreno fought.
Great fight.
Great fight.
I'd love to see you and Brandon Moreno. I know title shot for sure, but
I
Brandon
like to
Moreno,
fight both those dudes.
Yeah.
I like, you know what I mean? I feel like my style of fighting and the way that I fight is tailored for those guys.
Agree 110%. Yeah.
Dude, and I think Moreno, like, I feel like I'll stop him. I'll knock him out. He gets hits too much.
I would agree with that.
But, and the same thing with Figueiredo. Moreno was using that jab so much that I'm telling you, I bust his eyes up, and then he's, you know, I knocked both guys out. Great fight nonetheless, but it went to a draw.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, I called that. I was like, dude, this is going to do a draw because of that cup.
And I'm fine with the draw.
I'm fine with the draw, but now they got to rematch each other, which you can't do not a rematch, right? Like,
yeah, you have to.
So I'm like, all right, okay, that's fine. You know, when you're going to rematch.
So then if there's a rematch, for you, there's some big names out there.
Some big names. So I already had the title shot. Like, they said you can sit and have the title shot. I don't want to do that. An active fighter, that's how you kill your career.
Yeah,
you know, I want to get in camp, I want to get sharp, I want to get a win, get a fight off my contract, make some money. I mean, that's how we make money, is fighting, right? And I truly love it. I'm at the place in my life and my career again where I'm like fucking hungry, dude. I'm hungry because I know what it was.
So who you thinking, who's on the list?
So why should I go to 25, cut that weight? Not that it'd be too hard. I mean, it's gonna be manageable.
You can dabble in 25 or 35, popping
right now. Jose Aldo. That's the only. He's a legend. He's a legend.
Say less.
He's a former world champion, coming off a win.
You guys are both former champs.
Both former champions. You know, I think stylistically.
Oh
like,
my God.
And
he's still. Here's my thing about Jose Aldo. It's not like he's this washed up vet.
Dude, he's 32,
boy can still
33,
crack.
You know what I mean?
He's still fighting.
He's still fighting. He's still in there. He's still hungry. He's at, you know, like, I have a chance to fight a legend like that. Not only fight him to knock him out, put that in my cap. Okay, I get a fight off my career. I fight Jose Aldo, which all due respect to him, like, it would just be like a business fight. You know what I mean? Like a business
fantastic fight too.
So I think that's the next fight. That's what we're working on with the UFC.
And what's the UFC? Where's the UFC at?
They're for it. So probably April, beginning of May, which I'm fine with, you know, because it's
because the Figueiredo and Moreno rematch, then you guys are both
we'll fight
on
September,
track.
August.
You get on that mic, do a hot fucking promo.
Yeah.
Well, let me feed you a donut, and then we'll get back
so
to
we're staying at 35.
Yeah, so Jose Aldo, let me feed you a donut.
I'm definitely enjoying a thick boy.
Yeah, you're in.
If
You're in, dude.
if I get the Sunday option.
From stick boy to thick boy. Man.
Yeah, stick boy. That's great.
Imagine if your son was here right now, you go nuts.
No, he would go crazy.
Yeah. So you want the fruity, Doug?
I'm probably gonna do the fruity.
Fruity for the champ.
No, I'll just do the fruity. Yes, thank you.
And I'll do the cinnamon toast crunch.
Do you want to do some ice cream on that?
No, I'm good. It's kind of cold out. Thank you so much.
I'm gonna get you some napkins. All right.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, man, let's dig in these donuts.
Dude,
A couple cereal donuts.
Yeah, let's just hit the spot.
Mine is, Captain, what are these called? Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Got the glaze with the fruity pebble.
I was a Fruity Pebble fan as a kid.
Same. I was Cocoa Pebbles.
Ooh, those are nice too.
Dude, those are bomb.
I like the Apple Jacks too.
Because the Apple Jacks just got a box.
Really?
I introduced my son to
They
it
still
last
make
week.
them?
Yes, bro, they're fucking amazing.
Is your son a sugar fiend like mine?
He's really not.
Really?
You know, I mean, I think now that he's a little older, he's kind of
How old is
tasted
he?
it. He'll be 3 in March.
Okay.
So now he's getting to like the chocolate milk. I want chocolate milk. I'm like, oh, you don't want regular milk? Or you don't want water? He's like, I want chocolate milk every night. You know, I want chocolate milk. Or he'll get up. It's weird. Sometimes he gets up like 2, 3 in the morning. He'll be like, I'm hungry, Dad. I'm hungry. And I'm like, dude, go take your little ass to bed. And then I'm like, Dad, because he's like, I'm hungry. Like he's saying that. I'm like, all right, let's go see. He goes, I'm like, what do you want? He goes, let me go pick.
Yeah.
Like, so we go out there and pick, and I'm like, all right, you can get like
Like,
I'm trying to get him good
knew it.
shit.
Yeah, I know.
And he goes, snacks. I'm like, bro, you're not getting a snack at 3 in the morning. You just want me to
know.
come out here. So I'm like, we're going back to bed, and then I just like, it's tough, you know. And
You have just the one?
just one.
Do
Yeah.
you guys want more?
I don't know, man. Like, I would love to give him a sibling. I come from a big family. I have, I was adopted when I was 10, but so my adopted father has other children, so they're my siblings. So 5 brothers and 5 sisters. So we're a big family.
Huge family.
Yeah, and it kind of functional, dysfunctional,
Fun
functional.
though, right?
Oh, fun, always fun. You know, like we grew
Listen,
up wrestling.
Out of 10, you're going to have some bad apples.
Dude,
It's just
yeah.
odds.
Yeah, I mean, I might be the baddest apple, dude. You know what I mean? Like I'm turned out
Yeah,
pretty
you
good.
were the bad
Like,
apple.
I'm fucking
Yeah,
bad
you're the bad
I got
apple.
the neck tattoos,
Yeah.
like in the trouble. But hey, we're here now at sitting here at the food truck.
I know, right?
Eating a
You're
Fruity
doing
Pebble
well.
donut. Like,
Yeah, you were the bad apple out of the 10, man.
I would say so. But yeah, like we were a crazy family because it was like my mom remarried, my adopted father remarried, and so like at sports, like they would all sit together. You know what I mean? Like, because my mom never wanted it to be like you have to go to this family side first, and so we all just sat together. Everyone probably was
That's
like,
cool, man.
yeah, it was pretty cool, man. It was a big family. There's always something going on.
Is your family super supportive of what you're doing?
Oh yeah, very supportive. My mom's never missed a fight since I was 14. I had my first boxing match at 14. Yeah, I mean she doesn't like it. You know what I mean? Obviously, I won't like. I get fucking nervous when my friends fight, so I can understand that. But we always grew up rough, dude. We grew up just. That's why I've always been in combat and athlete, fighting with my brother, wrestling, football, boxing.
How do you feel about your son wanting to fight?
Man,
Does he watch some of the stuff? Like my son watches it. He calls it Boom Boom Pow.
Yeah.
So whenever we're watching the fights, like Connor fight this weekend, I usually let him stay up late for like big pay-per-views.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he'll want to fight. And he'll mimic the
Yeah.
moves. We have pads. I'm just like, dude, it's tough to be successful in this sport growing up with me as your dad, because you're, as Mike Tyson says, fighting comes from the gutters.
Yeah.
It doesn't come from
rich kids don't fight.
No.
And I don't think they should, but I feel like I wouldn't want my son to have to go through what I had to go through, the hardships and like that, because I suffered myself to be able to give him a better life. I'm not saying that I don't think that he should be not have those hardships, and I think that's how you grow as a human.
You can get those without fighting.
You can get those without fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can put him in, a good school. Like a pay for a school where he's more a scholar.
He could get it through, scholar, but he could get it if he joined the wrestling team.
Wrestling team, yeah. I think I really want him to wrestle. We put him in gymnastics actually next week, so he has his first
badass.
gymnastics class. Yeah, I think that just body awareness. I think gymnastics is huge, and we always,
Huge.
as kids, we're like, oh, fuck gymnastics. We're not doing gymnastics, but it's as a young
GSP
kid.
was the one. that
Yeah,
kinda started
look at
that.
him. Yeah, that guy's a freak, dude.
Yeah, I think it's weird. My son too, because again, you're a freak athletic. I'm pretty good athlete, so my son has those genes.
Yeah.
It's like you could be a badass fighter, but I'm telling you, like what it takes mentally to
Yeah.
get in that steel cage, you're not gonna have those demons that I have.
Yeah.
Like I had to crawl through some shit
Yeah.
to get those demons. I don't want him crawling through the same shit.
Right.
Because if you don't have those demons, you're not going to be successful. You're just going to get CT and
Yeah.
be fucking 4'9".
Dude, yeah, and being one of those journeyman fighters, like, yeah, not a good career. But I get it. I love how you say he's still cage, bro. It's like,
You can call it octagon. You can call it, dude. That's a steel cage.
You can't like church it up at all. It's a steel fucking cage. When you hear that shit,
They try to though.
Yeah,
like ESPN especially.
Yeah, like, don't call it a cage. They call it it's octagon.
Yeah, call it an octagon.
It's
like,
a
bitch,
fucking
that's a steel cage.
It's a cage, and we're gonna fight, and we're gonna fuck each other up. Like, I understand it's a sport, and you're trying to get like different demographic or people to view in, but I've never been in a sport where this dude trying to literally fuck me up, like kill me, basically.
And he's good at it.
And he's good at it. That's what he believes.
The
He
best.
came from the mountains in Russia or
the favelas in Brazil, dude.
Like, I come from a small ass town in Ohio that we just love to fight, and that's it. I'm like, all right, well, that's what I want to do, you know. So it's just crazy the walks of life that you come into with this martial arts, and I think anything, you know, at this high level, just like what makes you want to do this? Like, what made you transpire? Talking about the hardships and the demons you battled, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's interesting too. Like, you know, I've done a million of these food truck shows, and I've sat down with guys, and there's kind of like there's a common theme with like everyone. Everyone's like super humble. Everyone has those demons, but they've controlled those demons. Because you're not gonna be on the show if you're just some fucking idiot, you know?
Yeah, just doing coke on the line.
Yeah,
Okay, like,
I can't have
Cody back.
Yeah, I can't have it, man. You know. So it's just like, whoever's been on the show, or they're obviously successful in their field and in their division, whether it's fighting or boxing, MMA or boxing, they've navigated those demons and made them work for them, you know?
Yeah. I feel like a lot of times, man, like, they come back, you know what I mean? I think you always battle your demons. You've been through a lot of hard shit, like, man, it's always gonna come back. Those demons of doubt are gonna just resonate. Like, you know, especially like we talked about earlier, like coming off losses and shit, like, that's when people, you know, people outside of seeing like, oh, he's done, he's never gonna, even it starts to creep inside because we were filled with doubt, you know what I mean? As humans, we're filled with doubt. So that's, I think, that you get back, like you said, to the camp, to training, making sure everything's focused right. And I think that if one thing is off in MMA or fighting, it's not like, all right, fuck, we got next week, you know, we got the Browns next week, or, you know, that's our Super Bowl each time. Like, we get in there, and that's
a loss is insanely detrimental. It really fucks things up.
It really does, man. And I feel like, you know, I'm honestly content and okay and kind of, you know, analyze a lot of the last few years. And I feel like if I would have just went out there and just blitzed through everybody at 25, 26 years old, world champion, undefeated, I wouldn't be where I'm at mentally.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because I had to go through some
to
shit to get fucked, man.
Also,
that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
I think that's the biggest thing.
Internet's a horrible place to get knocked down on. You know
it's the worst. In your underwear, and it's also your underwear in a steel cage, millions of people watching.
Millions.
I think that's the biggest thing. It's embarrassing. You just feel like you let down your teammates and your family.
Man.
And then, what else people don't realize is, you know, when you're on that 2-3 fight losing streak, it ain't fun at home. Like, you're not fun to be around.
Life's not
But
fun.
you're trying to be, life isn't fun. And you think, when you go in a restaurant, you think everybody's talking about you. It's like, they're not. Trust me, they're not. But you think they are.
It's just
they're
like
trying to be a good dad, but just snapping on little shit.
Yeah, like,
Bitch, I said Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah, Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah.
No fries.
Yeah, it's weird,
Don't
man.
get chocolate milk tonight.
Yeah, it's strange.
You're going to bed. Yeah, it is strange.
So it's like navigating that world while you're on that losing skid is a beast.
Yeah, now obviously, you know, you being a father, I was a new father, like, going into, like, the TJ fight. I think my son was 3 months old, so, like, dude, for me, I didn't have a father growing up. You know, he was incarcerated, so I didn't want to miss anything. Like, oh shit, I gotta hurry up and rush to the gym. And I don't think that I was as focused because and not to make excuses or sound, you know, like I am. I didn't want to miss anything in his life, so like, all right, fuck, I'm not gonna go to the PT. I'm gonna go train hard, and then like I felt like just my body.
Rush home. Yeah.
I didn't feel like I got everything I needed out of it. Like with the Cruz fight, dude, I was just everything. You're right. We were doing 10 rounds of sparring, bro. It was tough, man. It was a hard camp.
That fight was insane.
It was the toughest camp that I did, but it was the most fun that I had because I'm like, dude, I'm fighting for a world title against arguably one of the best bantamweights to ever do it.
Correct.
Like, this is great. I have nothing to lose. You know what I mean? And like I said, once I kind of got that title, it was like, I have something to lose now. You know what I mean?
So you were adopted at 10 because your father's incarcerated?
Yeah, incarcerated, yes.
Was he around like 1 to 10?
No, he was always in and out of prison. So like, you know, it was just our mom was with our stepfather at the time, and they so he just like, hey, you know, thought about adopting, and you know, to have that. And so actually, my last name is Garbrandt - Pompey. So it's like on my driver's license.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
You get the longest last
going
name
through
ever.
TSA, it's like, what? What's your last
Like,
name?
come
Booking
on.
flights.
Yeah,
I had
right?
your Christian.
So, so that must be tough. You have a relationship now with your father?
You know what? He got out. He got out, and it was crazy, man. Like the first time that I talked to him, out when he was in prison was after my cruise fight. Right after, it was weird, dude.
He called you from prison. Or you went.
He
to
always
prison?
did. He always did. He called me.
Cool.
I was like, "This is a collect call from inmate." You know, and his name John Meese. I'm like, I just never. And I think I never answered it because obviously there's a lot of times I was busy. And I was like, I don't know, what the hell does he have to tell me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I didn't have any I didn't have any love or hate for him because I didn't know the guy. You know what I mean? And now being a father, I kind of feel sorry for the guy because he missed out on so much cool shit,
yeah,
like the
you're
little
a good
shit.
Person. He fucked up.
Yeah, and it's like, fuck. But he called me, and I tore my knee in the fight, the cruise fight. So I was going to physical therapy after, and I just had like a 30-minute drive there, and it's like a 15-minute call. So I just clicked it and talked, and he jumped on. He's like, "Oh man," he's like, "Dude, I gotta watch. The guards let me watch your fourth round of your fight." And I was like, "Dude, they're all fans here." The guard got on and was like, "Hey man, we just want to tell you that Mansfield Prison, we were rooting for you."
That's
like,
so cool.
Yeah,
man.
I was like, "All right, that's cool." And then he was like, "Hey man, you want to talk to world champion?" I'm like, "John, like, bro, I'm gonna let you go, dude."
Yeah,
like, talking to like other cellmates. I'm not trying to talk to murderers and killers. You know what I mean? Like, he was just all like, it was so like that was a little bit different. But I think that
he's probably so proud in there, man. You gotta realize in there, like that's.
Yeah, and my
Cody
uncle.
Garbrandt, your son.
Yeah, my uncle was in the same penitentiary with him too, and he was out for a little bit when I was boxing. He came to some of my fights, and he was a heroin addict. So, you know, with drug addicts, you know, they're different people when they're off the drugs and they're on the drugs, you know. Yeah. And he was actually a good dude, man. Came to the fights, and you know, he was a tattoo artist. So like that's why I just love tattoos. My grandfather's covered in artwork. My uncles, and my other uncle is Robert Meese, is my boxing trainer. These are his brothers.
Oh wow.
They're all been incarcerated. Robert got incarcerated at 15 years old. Got acquitted of charges. Tried as an adult, acquitted of charges. Found the Lord in there, and devoted his life to boxing and helping out. So, you know, it's like, fuck, man, we're in that stigma of like, dude, we have to, you know, we want to make it. Like, and our mom put us in the best possibilities to have a good head start.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I feel like that's what a lot of my success is from her. You know, being strong-headed. She was a mother and the father. She showed us tough love. And, you know, so with the father, my uncle was in the same penitentiary, but I had a more relationship with Mike than I did with John. It was crazy because Mike would call me all the time. I talked to Mike bullshit with him.
And Mike's your uncle and John's your dad.
Yes, and John's dad. And they're in the same penitentiary. They're in different pods from different charges. But so I would talk to Mike all the time. He's like, yeah, John said he wanted to say hi. And I was like, all right, cool, tell him what's up, you know. And the funny thing, I did a tattoo, what the hell was it? One of the tattoo magazines. And I had
like Ink magazine?
Ink magazine or something like that. And I was like, always like, they wouldn't believe it. Like, they would tell me, like, oh, Cody Garbrandt's my nephew, or Cody and Zach are my nephew. And the Ink magazine came out, and he got it sent to him, and he was like, I said it right there in the thing, like, yeah, I was like, attracted to that tattoo because it was just normal. My uncles did it. He always would send his drawings from the prison to the grandma, so she would always have it over a refrigerator. And my grandma was a saint. Like, man, she was like, she had breast cancer twice, lost both her breasts, like just went to church always, like prayer groups. And my grandfather was alcoholic, abusive, man, like put her through, so then the kids, same thing. So they had a rough life growing up, and but just an amazing woman. So that's where I kind of got into it.
Yeah, man, what
and he
a
had
story.
that like just plastered in his cell.
Oh, I bet. They're probably so proud, man.
Yeah, like,
Is your dad out now?
He's out now. Yep, he's out now. I'm actually going back to Ohio. I breed the bullies, so I have a big breeding coming up on the 26th. I'm gonna fly back, see the dogs, check them out, see my mom, work with my uncle.
You gonna bring your son out there?
He usually goes with me.
Oh,
Usually 5 when I'm there for more than a week. Just those short trips, you know, because the time change, it just wrecks him, dude. He'll be up like 5, 6 in the morning. Like, I want some snacks. I'm like, oh, take your ass to bed. You know? I'm like, just flew all day.
Yeah, man.
So we go out, but my mom travels out a lot as well. So like, she's really close. Like, she's a great mother, great grandmother. So she's like very family knit, and she's always had like the family dinners and got us together. Like, so yeah, we're super thankful for that. You know, things that we didn't have, we made up for it with the family.
Heck yeah, man. You're doing. I bet they're so proud of you, man. And. I think for you, man, I know this 2020 was tough. I think it was tough for a lot of people, especially you with the injuries, coming off that big win, and losing that Figueiredo fight, and obviously he has the rematch with Moreno coming up. I feel like things happen for a reason. I think you get that Jose Aldo fight in April or May, you win that. I mean,
dude,
we're going Sizzler. So.
Yeah, we're going. Because then I put myself at a position where, all right, this is the guy that just came off of a title loss to Jan. He won against Cheeto.
Yeah, man.
It puts me right there to be at the top, because I'm third ranked in the bantamweight
third,
division.
yeah.
So beat Aldo, I can get a title shot at 35, I can get a title shot at 25 already. So I have options to be like, who's ready first? How am I feeling? Which way do I want to go? And that's what I want to do. I honestly have learned so much from those losses, and I'm grateful, that I went through that period, the losses, the way that I felt leading up into the camps, the day of the fight, fucking walking out the octagon, felt blank. I felt just numb. Like nothing was. I wasn't excited. This last fight, I was so fucking nervous, dude.
Yeah.
I was so nervous. And I missed
There's a lot
those.
going into
It
it,
literally felt like my first fight, dude. I was
Yeah.
like shaking. I was like, and I had a glimpse of the feelings that I had in the past fight, but I just kind of blocked it out.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I got in the octagon and me and Assuncao was like moving around. I was fainting, and then I was like, all right, it's
Here we
fucking
go.
on.
Yeah, that's what
it's
I do.
on. I'm like, this is it. And
Yeah,
it's-
you
you
know
don't have to
you're
be
turned
this.
on.
You don't have to impose as someone else that you're not. You don't have to be this angry fucking.
No, this
it
aggro,
takes
no.
so much energy out of you, and I think that I couldn't get out of that mindset. I was in that mindset for so long to have false hatred for someone.
And I think it was working for you, so there's no reason to change
Right.
it. And you listen, my favorite fighters are the guys who do lose and then bounce back. I think being a fighter is someone who can lose, learn from it, and then get better.
Yeah. Definitely, I felt like I would never went to Coach Henry's. I would have never got out of my comfort zone. The number one thing that I loved about Coach Henry, he's not. You can hit someone with a 6-7 punch combo, look fucking clean, and then what
He's gonna find something.
he's gonna find something. He's not proud of that 6-7 punch combo that you just crushed this dude with. It's your after. What did you
Yeah.
do after that combo? Did you
Yeah.
stay there and get hit? Did you
Yeah.
admire your work? And the defense thing. That's
Yep.
like the defense. And the one thing that he said to me is like, my job, and he's competitive. You worked with him. He's
the
competitive. He's
best.
just so meticulous on everything that he's like, my job is to get you home to your family. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, I love it, man.
Dude, sold. Yeah, help me with some defense. Let's
Yeah,
go.
I'm excited for you, brother. I hope
Yeah.
that Jose Aldo fight comes to fruition. We've wanted you on the show for a while. You're one of my faves, man.
Yeah,
And
thanks,
you know
appreciate
I support
it.
you, man.
Yeah,
So
we're
all
gonna-
love here.
we're
That's
gonna-
all you know love, but
yeah,
all love.
we're going on some bike rides, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, let's do this. Cody Garbrandt, everybody.
When the camera's rolling, I like the danger in it. The heart pounds. It defies logic. It's thrilling to me.